Bam, we're live. There's two comments on Instagram, on my Instagram that I wanted to read. One of them I wanted to hear your opinion on. Let's see.
I was listening to your. It took me a while to get to that Hunter one. I would just listen to it like 20 or 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And you love the comments. You like get in there and you like review people's profiles and then you comment on them. So you got a little bit of something to the comment. I thought it was funny.
I've put together like whole like attacks on people. Like they write something negative and I do a whole like fucking spend like 35 minutes like looking into their Instagram account and all this stuff. But then I never do it. I try to make it funny. The funniest part, if of course, I love the people who make fun of me, but then I go into their account and I see like pictures of them getting the shot and wearing masks and just participating in the fucking the tardedness.
You've got an
By the way, those of you who are offended by the word retard or tard, it's not an offensive word. It's not an offensive word. If you were to, let's say, plant some things in your backyard and then you were to step on one of them, which I've done before, and you break the stem, but it doesn't kill the plant and it starts growing off in a direction, you've retarded its growth. I don't even find that word in the slightest bit offensive or in.
When was the first time you ever were approached having used that offensively? Like someone looks at you differently, or
only in the last 10 years. Here's a guy, Drew Henderson, because he's upset because I used the word retardation. It's like quiet. Just because your vocabulary doesn't, just because you burn books for a living, just leave me alone. There's someone in here. Sorry. I wish I would have. I wish I would have been more prepared for this. I promise you I'm prepared for a bunch of other stuff. But there's a guy in the comments who's basically saying, oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. Ready? The games could be better, but all this CrossFit hate is very concerning. It's like we chastise the mob mentality. We label the CrossFit games as a failure. All this complaining and toxicity is not going to make them better. Because of the negative videos and bitching, we are going to see a steep drop in open participation next year. This is going to limit revenue for the very things the bitching is about. Better judging, better training. Well, I agree there's been some big mistakes. Is the toxicity, now you've used that word twice now I'm getting the woke vibe, is the toxicity and seemingly vengeful complaint, now he's analyzing me as being vengeful, really supportive of the better CF Games experience for both the fans and the athletes? I do not have the answer, but there are some big names that could be out there helping this cause, making the games better without just throwing daggers at the people running the games. Absence of Dave. It's still an awesome experience. It's still an all-inclusive. It's still CrossFit.
And your immediate take is?
I know that's on my account, but I'm going to pretend that was for you too. No, that's what I want to know. What is your immediate take? Like,
my immediate take
that's not about me. That's about you.
No, I think it's about what we're doing together, I suppose. I very largely take that personally because I don't know if I should take it personally, because when you take things personally, all of a sudden you're on the defensive, and I'm not defensive about it. I just don't understand. I made a video once speaking about my swim team history, and when I was on swim team, I remember they would give you a rainbow ribbon. It's like, oh, nice job, you participated in this event. And it's like, I don't want that. It's like, and then they would give you, it's like, hey, here's your handful of rainbow ribbons, and it's like, all right, where's the blue one for first place? That's the only one that I want. And when I hear people using a bunch of that verbiage, what I hear is, oh, they're doing everything they can. It's a good job. Here's a bunch of rainbow ribbons. It's like, but really, I think that they should be shooting for the best, like, which is what I was accustomed to, which is where most of the fuel for what I come from stems from, which is they would always be trying to do the best. And I think you put up that thing with Dave at the press conference. It was 2012 or so. And it's like, 13, hey, we'll be ready for 2013. We'll be ready for this. We'll be ready for this.
That comment is from that post.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't know if you want to talk about the press conference yesterday at all, but it doesn't seem as if they say, we'll be ready for this. We're ready for that. It seems as if they say something this way and then they say something this way. And what they do then is they sit in the rainbow ribbon world.
I want to play the intro of this to you. So I'll just make a quick response to it.
Oh no!
I guess I don't care that if I'm being negative. It's not my intention to be negative, but someone sent me that video. I think Hiller was also on the thread in my DMs, that video from 2013. And it just made me realize that, like, hey, none of this is true anymore. I know that, like Dave says in there, all the stuff that we did under Greg's leadership. We weren't concerned with growth. We were concerned with doing what's right. We weren't concerned with chasing money. We were concerned with being excellent. And there's just all of these things he said, and those things are non-existent anymore over at CrossFit. That's not the way it's run anymore. And I think it's totally fair I said that. And if it upset you and it's negative, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. And if what you were saying is valid, if there was some, yeah, I hear you. I don't want to just be spewing venom. That is absolutely not what I want to be doing. But and you're only one comment out of 120 that were like, good job. But I'm not a consensus guy anyway. Maybe the other 19 people just like negativity. So who the fuck knows? But I would do so. Straight back to the negative. I want you to hear this. This is the they call it the CrossFit semifinals press conference. It was definitely 100% not a press conference. So it's a disingenuous name, and it just opens up with a lie.
Here we go.
If you think I shouldn't point that out, I don't know what to tell you. But I know what a press conference is. I've been to plenty of press conferences. I've been to plenty of CrossFit's press conferences. I watch press conferences every week from other sports, specifically the UFC. This is 100% not a press conference. This is a propaganda conference.
The biggest difference being loaded questions. They recorded it to be put out later.
Everyone's not welcome. That the real press isn't welcome, and that it's being announced. I don't know if this one was announced on Morning Chaka, but how is anyone? How could you not? How could you? Did you receive an email inviting you?
Yeah, I denied it.
Oh, you did?
No, I'm kidding. I didn't get one. No, I got you though. No, of course they didn't invite me. They didn't invite you. They hate us.
Yeah, they have our email. I want to tell you something else too. Very, very, very clearly. There was a time. There were two people. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing about Justin LaFranco. Justin LaFranco had a newsletter, and he wanted to come to the CrossFit Games as media, and I was the media director, and he contacted me, and I've invited him, and I got him in there with the best VIP access ever that you could get, basically. And this was before Morning Chocolate was like anything. Not that it's anything now, but that's how I handle it. Flash forward a few years, and when the meme Wad guy and Arm & Hammer were just on full blasting, just attacking Dave like fucking psychopaths. There was discussion on whether they should be allowed to come to the CrossFit Games, and there's people in the current administration now, and one guy that's been fired that some of you think has been promoted. Who told Dave no, you can't stop media just because you don't like what they say about you. But either way, this all like, please take no. I am not upset that I didn't get invited. I'm actually happy because it's just more fuel for content. But so this is a lie coming just straight out of HQ. And it really sucks that my friend Adrian Bosman is on the face of such a bold lie. They're taking a man with great integrity, great character, someone I really like, who I know has no peer in how hard he works, and using him as the face of a lie. If I was him, I would be like, hey, you got to change the name of this video. I don't want to be on a video that just opens up with a lie. But listen to what fucking comes out of Justin Berg's mouth right here. This is fucking just garbage. Here we go.
Semifinals press availability, as we've talked about in the past. We're going to call.
That's Andrew Weinstein, by the way. That's their PR guy. CrossFit Net. We never had anything. We never had PR guys when I worked there. You didn't need PR guys. If someone needed to know something, the CEO, Greg Glassman, would fucking speak to the world directly to the fucking affiliates. We didn't have a PR guy. How did that work out for you? Well, he's rich as fuck, and the rest of us are stuck with fucking Justin Berg and Andrew Weinstein. That's how it worked out.
Ask a question. I will open your line so your mic will be live. As many folks as possible over
the last press conference I was at the CrossFit Games in 2018, 19, 20, something, 18, 19, something like that. There were fucking 300 people there. Now this is just
I'm itching to hear what this is actually about. What do we wait? What are we waiting for?
this is this was like every single person they call, half the people they called, and this is from the morning chalk up.
Did you hear they called Brian Friend from the Savan podcast?
Yes, I did. That was nice of them. Okay, here we go.
Welcome, guys. This is part of our commitment that we started at the beginning of the year to make ourselves more available at a regular cadence to the press.
More available to the cadence directly. No, actually, you're completely unavailable to Hiller and I, and we are the press. So line number one. God, I wish we had one of your little counters.
And to other kind of members of our community.
And other members of our community. So this isn't just a press conference. This is for press and other members of our community.
Well, they did put it live this time for everyone to see. 6,000 views. It's almost got 1/5 of my latest video.
Where
They're all here to see Adrian, by the way.
I want to start is by kind of framing where we are. So we're excited. We just wrapped up 4 weeks of semifinal competition, and we're now 7 weeks out.
God, it's such a fucking joke. The people I heard who were there, Brian Friend was there, Tommy Marquez was there, Kat from the Clydesdale podcast was there, some guy from something called Hotbox or Hot Crocs or something, some other guy named Joe, Katie Gannon from Morning Chalk Up, that guy who has the Native American last name from Morning Chalk Up, Pillawa, someone named Presley Hirsch from Morning Chalk Up. Fikowski got to ask a question that you probably didn't make it to the end of the video, Hiller, but at the end, Fikowski asked Emma McQuaid a question. I was like, what
was the question?
Fuck. Do you want to move to Canada and get married to me? I don't fucking know.
Interesting.
It was fucking it was nonsense. It was nonsense.
I can't stand I don't like the athlete portion. I mean, you have these guys here and it's like, hey, thank you for making yourselves available to us. And then they cut themselves off at 20 minutes. Like, hey, ask the athletes some questions. It's like, well, they have Instagram Messenger for that. They answer people all day, I'm sure. I know people personally who have spoken with Brent all the time. Like, I don't know anybody who's spoken with Adrian or Justin. It's like, let them talk for a full hour.
Yeah, exactly. Let them talk for
and also have it live just like this, and then have a comment section. They'll just sit here and they'll just answer some questions. It's like, that's the way they should do it.
I think I could be biased in this, but I'll throw it out there. I think they're less available than ever. I think CrossFit is less available than ever. I think we're hearing.
Why do you say that? What was it like before?
I mean, I don't ever remember there being difficulty getting access to me. I mean, some fucking dork named LaFranco reached out to me and fucking I got him into the CrossFit Games. Everyone was welcome. Fucking Hunter McIntyre got to go to the CrossFit Games. He didn't qualify. I think it was always way more available than it is now, way more transparent than it is now. It's fucking on lockdown now. That's what Andrew Weinstein's job is. Yeah, I think there used to be incredible access, and I don't think it exists anymore. There's this one line in here I want to read, and then Justin said that there were inconsistencies from one event to the next, but it did not affect the overall results from the event. And I hear what he's saying. He's basically saying maybe at one event the ropes were longer, one event the bars were higher, one event the shuttle runs were longer, whatever they were, but at the end it didn't affect the competition at that event. Unless your name was Scott Panchik. Because the inconsistencies at the event are who?
Matt DeLugos. Unless you were him, probably arguably one of the best, top 20 best CrossFitters of all time, the inconsistencies at the event actually did affect him. They fucking ended his career. Shit. Yeah, because the way that I heard that is they were trying to have it so each athlete at each semifinal had an equal opportunity to qualify for the games within the realm of the standards put there. I didn't hear it the way that you heard it, which is interesting, but you're also right.
What you mean what I just read?
Correct. Yeah.
How did you hear it?
But yeah, the way that I heard it. So like, if let's say Matt DeLugos was at Strength and Depth where they had switched the bar heights, apparently per their conference, what they said, like they upped the bar heights.
Yeah.
Then DeLugos would have, if they had had the same workouts at Granite Games, had a greater opportunity to qualify through Strength and Depth. So if he had to do that workout, that's how I heard it, which is interesting. And
both
I'm like,
too.
Right, well, that's not true, because if you put that Granite Games workout with a higher bar height, all of a sudden the likelihood of him qualifying increases. So it's a false statement he's making.
Right.
That's how I heard it.
Justin said we allowed the organizers to be accountable of movement standards and safety. I'm going to read that one more time. Justin said we allowed organizers to be accountable of movement standards and safety. Is that so? Basically, at that point, I think he's just putting all the blame on
It's a piece of shit.
on the semifinals. You think it's a piece of shit move?
Oh my God. Could you ever imagine? God, everyone's like, oh, you love Dave so much, and he'll be on your show later. That's pretty cool. However, could you ever imagine saying that? It's like, yeah, it wasn't our fault.
No.
That's how it wasn't our fault. Fuck those guys, the guys who paid us money to put on these events for us. Like,
They
fuck
do
them.
pay. They pay CrossFit money.
To my knowledge.
Damn.
Are you not aware?
No,
They
I don't
have
know.
to
I
pay
don't know.
for-
I
they
don't
have
know.
to pay
I
for
don't know
the
how
right
any
to
of,
put CrossFit on their event.
yeah, I don't know how that works with the semifinals.
Okay.
Tommy Marquez asked a question. I didn't understand the question. I sure as fuck didn't understand the answer. I just the one thing I kind of plucked from it was that Justin likes Strength and Death because it had more than elite competition, which he thinks he added to the greater community event. I think what he's saying is that they maybe had like a adaptive division or age divisions there, and that helped the community event. I will say this: I've never seen such empty crowds at any regional sanctional event like I saw this year. When we used to do the regionals, it would be packed everywhere I went, all over the world, all over the United States, it would be packed. I will ask Dave today when he comes on the show why he thinks North American.
I tell you why.
Yeah, tell me.
You want to know why? So the
Yeah.
other night, after we did our month-long binge of episodes over the course of the weekends, I sat on the couch. I turned on 2018 regionals, and they were loaded. They were super freaking crazy. I was there. I remember what it was like. It was loud. It was crazy. I remember sitting there at the end waiting to hear the teams called because we were right on the cusp. And all I could think of is this. I watched every single second of semifinals to do our coverage. And not one time did I get the same like sensations that I got watching that on that Sunday night after having seen everything. You look around and
Why? What do you think the difference is? What do you think the difference is?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
The difference is the fact that I was from Lombard. We competed in Tennessee, and it was an 8-hour drive, and no less than 30 of my members came out to watch us.
Yeah.
And
all the semifinal, all the regionals I went to was tons of affiliates there, massive affiliate events.
That doesn't account for like my teammates' family members. So there's probably 50 in attendance for my team alone at that point in time. And then you also have to take into account the individuals on that side, and there weren't community events. So the thing about Wodapalooza, you go there and it's packed. It's because everyone's fucking competing, but everyone's going to support everybody at these regional events back in 2018. And it was wild. Everyone was super invested in it too.
Dude, CrossFit Invictus in San Diego, when the regionals would be there, they would take up a whole fucking section of the stands.
It's wild, right? Does that happen anymore?
There'd be like 300 people there.
Well, first of all, they have to
and
travel
they would
across
do this
the
thing
fucking
for
United
Josh
States to get
Bridges.
there.
The entire Invictus like group crowd, CJ would organize them, and they would make a tunnel and hold hands, and they'd call it a love tunnel. And Josh would run through it before and after events sometimes, and they would tell him how much they love him. It was fucking intense. Sorry, go ahead.
And it was probably easier for him to do that because it was closer to the affiliates they were working out of, right?
Oh yeah. It was right down the fucking street.
So let's say my affiliates
in San Diego, just just bam.
They're all into it too.
Yeah.
And let's say we were in San Diego. Let's say my affiliate in 2018 was there, but then I had to go compete at the MAC. Maybe 2 people come out with me because it's an expense to get there, not a trip, not like a weekend drive trip. It's like, hey, we're gonna go hang out and we're gonna go. Like number 1 was support the people you want to support. Number 2, Vendor Village was sick.
Yeah, Vendor Village was always sick at all the ones I went to.
Everyone always like walked away with a bunch of shit from Rogue and whatever like apparel companies that sponsored my team. Like they had booths there and that sort of thing. So it was just different and better. And I wonder if Dave will say the same thing if it had to do with the proximity to the affiliates back then.
You know what else was cool too? Like they did the San Diego regionals at a horse track, so it gave it a real like a cool feel. You know what I mean? It felt like you were at a state fair. It felt more familial. Trying to think, all the ones that weren't in stadiums, the ones they did some in Northern California, like at like places that look like farms with a lot of hay and shit. And it was always felt more familial, like a cool place to bring friends and family.
Are you saying that's different today?
I mean, all the ones I've been see now are indoor stadium events. Like it's trying to mimic this, like it's trying to mimic ball and stick sports.
Ball and stick. You used a baseball hater.
Yeah, I am. What do you think about this? I think Justin said that athletes have popped for steroid use. I think that's what he was implying.
That's what it sounded like. But
I really have trouble understanding when he talks. I think he uses 8 times as many words as necessary.
He must have never coached a CrossFit class before, because you only got like 2 minutes to get everything across before everyone gets anxious again. Antsy.
Did you hear that people popped? Did you?
Yeah, it sounds like they're going through their B sample. Do you know how that works?
No.
Let's say like you qualify for the games, you pee into the cup, and then they take 2 samples. Like there's 2 cups, and they test the one, and then they're like, "Hey, Sevan, you got D-ball in your urine," and you're like, "No, I don't. Try it again." And then they try the B sample, and then he's like, "It was in both of them. It wasn't a mistake."
And then I say, but it's because I was French kissing Hiller.
Or because someone tainted your cheeseburger.
Don't say
someone
taint.
put
Don't say taint.
Someone put taint in my taint.
Tainted. Frank Dubach. You know what else was cool? Sevan was Real Media back then. Thank you. I'm actually only Real Media now. Adrian said that we are hypercritical. We are in a hypercritical moment, but there isn't an increase in incidents. I'm assuming he was talking about bad judging and reps in general.
Every statement made is just incredibly weak. And while I like to give credit for they've taken steps in the right direction by making that public, like we could watch it, right? The last one we weren't able to watch. We had to sneak our way into it. Everyone can see this one, so that's good. It doesn't mean that what they were saying did anything. So I put out a video yesterday about how they don't do anything. They don't say anything. And while
the video yesterday is brutal. I got some notes on it. I cannot. Are people going to the CrossFit Games who didn't qualify for the fucking games?
In a way, you can't say for sure. In the same way where like you don't know how the leaderboard was supposed to look after that shuttle run workout number 3 of the quarterfinals. You don't know because they didn't do their job. And the same thing happened again, but this time the implications were there are athletes at the games because of it that maybe shouldn't be, but we don't know.
Isn't it funny that they were patting themselves on the back in the press conference about how good they've done for adaptive athletes and masters?
They didn't even know what the fuck was about to hit them because I hadn't put that out yet.
And yet there's the masters qualification is broken. I mean, people after watching your video, I'm like, holy shit, some dudes are going to the games who Hiller showed fucking half their reps were ass.
And it's so easy. Like there are only 10 people in each division going. It's like, you know how I understand the erroneous score thing there's almost 1,000 people's scores they've got to check on either side, but there's literally 10 people's workouts you got to check. It would take one guy an hour to look through the videos and say, oh yeah, you shouldn't have made it through this section of this wall ball workout. It would have taken them 2 minutes to see it. And they didn't do fucking anything.
I'm going to go to your YouTube account. There's 2 videos. If you haven't seen them yet, you may want to take a peek at. I watch all of these while I ride the assault bike.
You know what? As I'm editing them now, I'm like, oh, this one, he's going to be pissed. This one's 30 minutes. It's going to be a long assault bike ride.
That's a long. This one, where is it? The first one, is it the judges? No. Where's the one with Tim Tillman?
Tommy Tillman.
Tillman.
That one would be the double down, 8.7K. So that's the second one I made. The first one was We Have a Problem. That's the one with the counters on them. The one right underneath it to the left, Adrian Bosman and Dave.
Who thought this was this one? Who thought this was? Yeah.
So
this one, who thought this was a good idea? It has Adrian on it and Dave holding a snake. If you want, watch that video and then realize that none of those issues that Andrew pointed out were fixed, and they're not a joke. They're not. I mean, it's dudes who are doing wall balls who are not. They're not squatting. They're just throwing the ball. You could say that.
Correct. No, so one of them wasn't hitting depth on the majority. One of them wasn't getting the ball over the target on many. And then the guy in the middle was doing a little bit of both. And that's the guy that I made the second video on, because it's like, Andrew, you didn't take into account where he put his tape line. It's like, well, there's a spot you're supposed to put it, but let's say it was in this spot. It still doesn't matter, because the heart of the video, which is what I kept on saying, was that he shouldn't have made it to the point of the workout in which he made it. Which led me to the third video, because it didn't matter. They didn't fucking do anything. They didn't look at the workouts. They didn't look at the videos.
I don't agree with Adrian that it's always been this way, and that now people are just hypercritical, and that there's just increased. I do believe that there's increased incidents. I do believe it is a complete shit show this year. But that being said, I do want to acknowledge that he has better optics than I do. But either way, I don't understand that as a response. So you were getting raped
it's
at
always been
home,
this
and so
way.
we put you in a halfway house, and you get raped in the halfway house. Oh, but the response is, well, you were getting raped at home anyway. No, you went to the like
Jesus Christ,
you.
dude.
I know it's brutal simile, but like you changed leadership, and you have these massive problems that have completely invalidated the competition. Brian asked about the names of the games. Is it CrossFit Finals or CrossFit Games?
Yeah, that was a good question. He was kind of ticked off, it seemed like.
I was told that Justin, part of the things that how they took away CrossFit HQ, and they took away Pukey, and they took away, and they changed it from CrossFit training to CrossFit EDU. And there's all these things that Rosa was doing to try to, instead of will mess you up or Forging Elite Fitness, they changed it to happiness, smiles, and whatever the fuck their new motto is. I heard that this thing that Justin chose CrossFit Finals to try to change it from CrossFit Games because he wanted it to feel more like a professional sport and take away from what Dave was doing. But I have no proof of that, but I heard that. That was the rumor, that he was trying to put his stamp on the games by changing it to finals.
What do you think their vision of all of this is? Do you think they have one?
No.
Like,
well, yeah. I bet you Justin's written out a fucking 50-page manifesto that only he's read or understands. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good, I guess, because it doesn't seem to me like they understand who they're speaking to anymore. Or maybe they know who they're speaking to, and they're trying not to lose the other half. You know what I was listening. I'm going to keep on probably relating, as I just have this at the top of my mind, but you were talking to Hunter, and you're talking about like Matt switching training platforms to put his product on.
Yeah.
The scary part of that is whether or not he's going to lose half of the credit cards, because people need to switch their credit cards over.
Yep.
And part of me wonders if at the games level, Justin and them are like, we're switching this over and we're terrified of losing half of our customers. So they're still trying to dabble in both of them. And half of us are all fucking pissed off because we know that you're trying to switch over our credit cards, but you're not telling us.
Right.
You want us to switch platforms? It's like, you still, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And that's why we're also upset. It's
yeah,
like this is what we want. Are we switching? Tell us. Maybe we'll come with, maybe we won't, but you're not telling us anything.
Or what's better? Well, that's so the best question I heard, the most precise, the one that's like not pussyfooting around, the one that wasn't ambiguous was from a man named Chase Ingram from the Get With the Programming podcast. He's also a commentator for the CrossFit semifinals. Been around forever. Chase asked, who had the final say on the risers, bar height, and rope length? Like, he fucking just asked it. Like, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Just like, oh, he pointed at some shit, some objective shit, some real shit.
And then the
Fikowski answered the question. I think the directors of the semifinals had the final say, but the semifinals directors were looking for guidance from HQ. And at one point, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Justin even put some blame on Bill Henniger because he said, we also checked in with the equipment manufacturers. And so
the most powerful man in fitness.
Yeah, the most powerful man in fitness. I think that they were kind of spreading the blame around a little bit, like when a bird shits on your windshield and all you have is like a shitty like wipe, and you wipe it to try to wipe it off, and instead it spreads it everywhere. I think it was kind of. I felt like that's what that press conference was, just smearing the shit around.
So yeah, here's the issue, and here's the same thing we're not going to tell you about, just like we always do. I think that just seemed like a waste of time.
Yeah, I think. Well, I didn't walk away. I didn't walk away feeling like really hyped about the games, which I think you should have.
You know what they said?
Every press conference I've been to, I walk away being like, "Fuck, I can't wait for tomorrow."
Really?
Yeah, the UFC press conferences, I'm fucking pumped.
They ask a question, they go this way, they go that way, and then by the time the question's over, you're like, "What was the answer?"
Yes.
Is that how you felt about everything? And then you're also like, okay, so you realize there's a problem, but you're not telling us the answer. So it's either what was it or, oh, there's something in the works. When the fuck are we going to hear about that? Or are you just waiting for us to forget?
Right. They're waiting for you to forget.
We won't forget. I got time.
We won't forget.
We rise at dawn.
Hey, what did you expect? You didn't think we were going to watch your propaganda conference? There's no plan B. I told you. It's just full speed ahead.
You think they watch this and they're like, God damn it.
No,
we're trying to do. No, you don't think they watch this?
No, they can't anymore. It's too hard for them.
You're sharing your screen, you know.
Oh, I am? Shit. Thank you.
FYI. Oh, yeah.
How's that better?
I mean, HWPO.
There was nothing in there anyway. It's just that's all my drafts. Okay. These are my notes from the Hiller podcast. Let's see.
And away we go.
Am
I a bully?
Hiller Fit and Review. Oh, we'll get there. First, I need to show you something. I don't know if you've seen this.
I've seen everything.
I don't know if you've seen this. So you know I'm a kind of a hater of the machines, especially the skin, right?
Something else.
I'm a hater of the skier. Dude, I think we're gonna see this at the CrossFit Games. I think this is gonna be Justin Berg's solution to fucking swimming in E. coli.
Is that Noah Olson?
Look at this fucking thing. This is a
swim.
It's a swim machine.
Sevan, if this enters the CrossFit Games, I exit the YouTube world.
This is
ridiculous.
Look at.
No. Sevan, this is a trainer. I hope it's a trainer.
No, I'll show you. There's a guy doing butterfly on it, like for a workout. I need to find. Let me see. This is it. This is it. Here we go. Oh no, this isn't it. Yeah. So you think this is just a trainer? You don't think this is like?
Well, I know that's what the guy in the pool was doing is a drill, and it looks like he was demoing the drill on the trainer, the Vezo, whatever the hell this thing is, Vezo trainer.
Look at this one. Looks like that at a CrossFit gym. Look at you see the Dynamax ball, and it's a shot through the ring.
Yeah, 2012 shot through the ring.
Yes. Hey guys, this will be in the CrossFit Games this year. Mark my word.
Shut up. There's no way. If it is,
it is. This is. Dude,
do you realize that the skier is training basically the same pattern that like the butterfly would?
No, but there is a video in here of butterfly.
Oh wait. Click on that monitor. Go up.
Here?
To the left. The one on the left. What does that monitor show? Because this would be, is it similar to the C2? Does it have a distance?
Is get objective feedback on stroke rate, time, power output, force production.
It's coming. Okay.
All right. Now that I've seen that, you might be onto something. I didn't know it had a monitor that's giving you feedback.
Coming to the CrossFit Games near you. Its semifinals are going to be filled with them next year.
Oh my God. I hope not.
I don't think it was smart that Justin pointed out that Gui is Gui's like superstar status in Brazil and it's going to help CrossFit grow. He gave Gui way too much leverage there. I think that statement he said is going to backfire him. The last thing fucking the athletes need is fucking the director of sport or whatever he is jerking him off in a press conference like that.
You know, LeBron James, he just totally brought up the NBA in North America, and now all of a sudden LeBron James is more powerful than the NBA, as you're saying.
Yes.
Is that the most powerful statement made by Justin Berg in the whole press conference was in relation to Gui?
Probably. That was the only thing that was the only thing I understood, and the thing he said about strength and depth. Those are the only two things I understand. So there was a guy at CrossFit Inc. There's these people who just are amazing workers. But the second you put them in leadership positions, they start draining the rest of their team. Every time they get up in front of the team, everyone feels exhausted. My friend Travis Bagent told me this. There's two kinds of vacations. There's vacations that are too short and vacations that are too long. There's no such thing as a perfect vacation. So you always want to leave when it's just a little bit too short. So that way you have good memories about it and you want to come back. If it's too long, the whole fucking thing is ruined. And leadership, and if their vacation's too long.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. It's just the way it works. Don't ruin my story. Leadership is the exact same way. if you get up in front of your team and they're fucking, everyone's like rolling their eyes and been like, fuck, I should have got a fucking coffee before this started. And I think that's what they have at CrossFit Inc. with Justin Berg. And here's the thing. I know some of you who are on the boat as I throw rocks at it are pissed. I get it. I was fucking so irritated with Andy Stump when he was fucking launching nukes at us while I was still on the ship. But I know a fucking shit ton of you who are on the ship are like, holy fuck, I'm glad someone's saying this. I'm so glad someone's saying this.
When's the last time you took a vacation?
I don't take vacations. I don't compartmentalize my life. I'm on vacation right now. Do you know how excited I was to wake up this morning and know I was going to see you and get to do this? This is dope. I wouldn't do.
Dude, I was sitting here and I'm like, yes, the link. And then you weren't in your chair. I was like, where the fuck is this guy? I was in the comment section talking to people. I'm like, he's late. I've been waiting for this all morning.
Shut up. That's just the way it works. Don't ruin my story. Thank you.
That's the story of the show, eh? By the way, if there is that stupid swimming machine at the games before there's a Versa climber or a Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Do you know what a Versa climber is?
Yeah. They're nasty.
Yeah. Oh, my watch is talking to me.
The Versa climber's nasty as fuck, right?
It can be, especially if you're really getting after it.
And every second counts. I remember John Wellborn almost killed his brothers on it.
Every second counts. I don't remember that part in that movie. It's been a while since I've seen that.
Okay, here we go.
We're back.
You will not be able to see the interview I do with Dave Castro today unless you're signed up for the Sevon newsletter, because you will only be able to get the link through that newsletter. So you better fucking go over to my website and sign up. That's not true. That's not true, by the way.
You finally did it.
No, it's not true. But don't tell anyone.
What?
Don't tell anyone that it's not true. Everyone can see. It's just gonna be live on my YouTube. Hey,
Got it.
so okay. There's this video you make of the guy Tommy. It's the what? Is it which one is it?
It's green. It's in the middle. Wait a minute. There's three of them.
It's this one though. No, the one from 4 days ago. Responding to Tommy Tillman's relatives. In that video you say this is not my job.
Yeah.
But I think it is your job. You've made it your job.
Also, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I just wanted to make.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct.
Like, I just hate that when people are like, it's not my job. I'm just doing this. No, fuck that.
I would say that I've given myself the ability to explain myself in a way that most people cannot. So I did you know I went on the Coffee Wads podcast yesterday?
No,
I recorded it at least.
It'll
come out. It'll come out next week.
Okay.
And in there, we were discussing about like the possible danger and pressure that comes with doing what I'm doing, which is I don't mean to like throw away the entire episode, but in there, I bring up the fact that my fiance took 3 days to put a post together, and I shared on my story, and I was like, "Hey guys, can you go like this? It was really important to her," and she got 1,000 likes on it, which is huge. Like her biggest post ever was like 80 likes, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," but it's also kind of scary. But through doing what I'm doing, which has been the plan the whole time, which was like rise my platform to a point where I say something and people can at least hear what the hell I'm trying to say. This video is the perfect encapsulation of me now explaining what I was trying to say in the first one, which apparently they missed. And what they missed was, this is our freaking brother, coach, relative, whatever. How dare you try to slander him? And I'm like, hey, I got eyes, and everyone also watching this has eyes, and they can see that I'm not trying to slander him. Maybe I missed something, but I'm going to now explain myself and show you that, all right, the point of the video remains the same. And it's something that if I hadn't been doing what I'm doing, I wouldn't be able to do and explain myself. And
do you think any of his friends walked up to him and were like, hey, dude, your reps really were shallow? Your reps missed the mark.
It would be interesting. I hope that would be the case.
Or maybe he said it. Maybe he's like, guys, leave Hiller alone. He fucking nailed it. I think like maybe he said that. Maybe that guy said that.
I'm sure you've run into these people where there's types of people in the world, and there's people who will accept criticism, and there's people who are just like fight till the day they die with their own opinions. Right. And then they'll be dead one day having lived with that opinion. It would be interesting. I'm very curious to know what happened as a result in his life, because I haven't heard anything yet. All I know is he's at the CrossFit Games.
He is going.
Correct. And should he be there? It's hard to say because they didn't filter that workout, and that's the point.
When you made the video about the guy, the first Masters athlete, what was his name? Hippensteel. He reached out to you. Have any of these guys reached out to you?
Just his relatives,
Okay.
quote unquote, which is what I call them because I assume they're close to him. So that's me being kind of funny. I think I'm being funny.
Right. It is funny. I like it. His mom,
Thanks.
his dad, his sister.
No, so I mean, I had Hippensteel tell me, and I posted a video on that it's like, hey, can you bring that down? Blah, 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 blah. You don't know what it's like to be me. And I'm like, well, how about everyone else? How about it? Oh, so here's the thing. Yeah, bridging off of that, the guy in first place, I would say, let's imagine Rich Froning does Fran. He does it in 2 minutes, right? Like, okay, you're assuming, and you know that he probably did the movements right, chin over the bar, squat to depth, locked his elbows out on the thrusters, 2 minutes. And then the guy in 14th place did it in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And you're like, all right, what the fuck is going on there? That's what that leaderboard looks like to me.
Yeah.
So the
And
guy
if you
in
guys
third
want to
place-
see that, you can see that in the video he put up yesterday, by the way. This one right here. There's massive discrepancies. There's just things that stand out that don't make sense between the scores of people who are in 14th place versus first place.
Yeah, the guy in third place has 114 reps, and the guy in first place has like 48 reps. And you're telling me, and I understand that there are people who are really good at wall balls. It happens, but it's also unlikely that he got that much further than the guy who won the division. And that's the point. It's like you got to filter these workouts. It's your only job. It's like going to the semifinals and doing exactly what Katrin's doing, but worse because you didn't even have someone there watching the workout. You know what I mean? Because it's a semifinal. It's the qualifier for the games. It's like, Katrin, go do the workout by yourself. We trust you. But everyone else, you got to judge.
Bullies punch down. If Hiller was going after those just starting CrossFit and they can't do proper reps, that is bully. If we were talking about games athletes, that is not punching down. Yeah, I think I think that's one of many reasons, and I think that's a great one. Thank you.
You use the word bully a lot.
Me?
Well, no, that's how you say it too. Bully.
Bully.
Now, when you use it, I feel like you'd be the perfect one to give your sense of how it's used as an adjective. Now, would you say that what I'm doing is bullying? Because there's so many different ways to describe words and rationalize what it is the hell you're doing. And I can do it and people can do it for me. And that's the scary part. People will back me up.
Here's so I think what Michael said is true, and I want to say one other thing, and I was going to save this for later. Here's the irony and the preposterousness of anyone getting upset at what you're doing. They might not like your delivery. It's none of their fucking business at all. Zero. But fine. Okay. You're judging. First of all, it's a sport, so it's predicated on needing judgment and guidelines and rules. That without that, it's not. So in there, you fit in perfect. The second thing is you're going to an event to judge someone, and yet you are butthurt when Andrew judges you. The irony in that is fucking bizarre.
You could apply that to social media too. You say something on social media and then you get defensive when someone comes after you.
Yeah. Like you just put it
It'd be
out
like
to
if
the
I got
world.
mad when people like talk shit about me. I'm like, no, because I did it in the first place.
And I'm not, yeah. So the it's and you've never incited the mob. You're never like, hey, the one thing you do say, fuck it, I'll just skip to the end. You say something at the end of that video that's fascinating to me. Let's just get rid of judges altogether.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I have said that.
And I really fucking like this. This is so one way you can go is pay the judges. The other way is let's just get rid of judges.
Yeah. Fuck
Now
the
all of a
judge.
sudden
Fuck
what
the
we've
judges.
done.
Good.
Now all of a sudden what we've done is we've let everyone on the internet, we've given them carte blanche to attack you for your reps.
Which would be sick.
So it would be savage, dude.
Michael Halpin put up a comment on my video, which completely, he says, like, this is how you fix the internet for the online competition. I agree. It's a well put out thing. Adrian Bosman and Justin Berg would look at it. There's your $100,000. So you're welcome. Michael did it for free. Again, he saved CrossFit.
What is it? Where can I read this thing Halpin put out?
I want to say it's on my most recent video. I pinned it. It's the first comment on there.
Okay.
But then also, so although I'm glad, dude, I was kind of sad during this video. Someone messaged me and they're like, "Are you on a bunch of pain meds?" I go, "No, I'm just really sad that nothing's being fixed." Click read more.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so
There you
this
go.
is Michael Halpin fixed in 3 steps that help promote CrossFit athletes, promote L1, and cause 0 to CrossFit HQ. And he's got a 3-step
Submit
process.
it publicly and have all the videos public. Once you reach the quarterfinals, semifinals, you have to have someone who's an L1 as the judge. You have to reopen the ability to put it through the affiliate manager, which is something they took away this year, which we infer it was because of COVID. And we understand why they may have done that, but they need to bring it back because it was very important. It's like the bridge. Do you remember that? Like if you put a workout in, it wouldn't populate the leaderboard right away. You had to go to an affiliate, have the affiliate manager.
Yes.
It was like one layer that was very important that they removed. Videos are visible through the deadline for community review. And if anything, you're getting praise for doing the right thing, which is something in Michael's position. He's like, hey, I can strive to get like a couple thumbs up for doing a good workout. It's like, hey, look how good of a mover I am. I got 28 likes on my open workout.
Interesting. So do you think that would really work? I know it sounds preposterous, but just get rid of judges and basically like just everyone in the crowd gets like rocks and tomatoes and shit. And if you see like Katrin not standing up all the way, you just throw shit at her.
The thing that it would possibly do, the huge negative to it, is that it might ruin the spectatorship of it. Do you understand? Because
instead of people just enjoying the athleticism, they're going to be scrutinizing the.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, it's like you say they have 10 people, and again, let's use Fran. They're doing Fran, and let's say someone in the middle of the workout forgets how many reps they've got to do wherever they've got to do it, then that person's competition is fucked. Because sometimes the judge helps them direct where they're going. You can circumvent that by having the field laid out in a certain way. The other issue becomes, let's say Katrin is doing Fran amongst 9 other females and she finishes first and then retroactively has 30 seconds added to her score for not like getting her chin above the bar. Yeah. Everyone's like, wait a minute, what happened there? And it ruins the spectatorship to a degree. I think the biggest thing that it does is what you said, and it almost makes them do everything better on purpose because they don't want to lose that.
Yeah. I just love the idea of the fans just having fucking like
it's fine. Like fucking
let's turn everyone into Hiller.
WWF is huge.
Let's see people clean up their shit if they're really accountable. You are now responsible. What?
WWE, WWF. Like the wrestling thing. The fans there are rowdy. They're into it. They're like, let's fucking go. It could be.
They start booing your name if you're not fucking standing up all the way. They could do that already. Minus the rock throwing.
Hiller, you come off way better during conversation than you do in your vids. I wonder what way that means.
I don't think the judge was influenced by. So here's the thing. People always say about the judges being influenced by the crowd. I'm having trouble relating to that. I can't imagine being a judge and being influenced by the crowd. Not because I'm above it or below it. Like, how would that work?
There was a story last weekend that there was a judge being directly influenced by a coach. Did you not? Weren't you on that with me?
I don't know, but let me add this. Wow. I just thought of something. If there was a judge who judged, the rumor is that there was a judge who judged Katrin. Hiller made an Instagram video and pointed out that Katrin's reps weren't good, and that judge didn't show up the next day. But I guess that in itself is no difference. That judge was influenced by the crowd. So maybe it's good that judge left. He was influenced by one crowd member in specific, Andrew Hiller.
Super fan.
And so if he could be influenced by Andrew Hiller, that means he could be influenced by the fact that he's judging Katrin.
Interesting. Wow, you're so deep, man.
I was good at that. I was good at that thing when you're a kid and you got to connect the dots. 1, 2, you draw the lines between the numbers. Okay, so there's the proof right there I was looking for. Okay, now I can kind of relate to it. Okay. So he kind of outed himself. Yeah, I can be influenced by Hiller. I can be influenced by Katrin. Maybe it's a good thing he stepped down. People are saying it was a mean thing, but maybe it's a good thing. He's just not. He's like, you know what? I'm not qualified. Or she.
The only sense in which it would be a mean thing is if the guy's hurting because of it, because that's never the intention. It's just like, dude, if you're not supposed to be there, you shouldn't be there. Like, if you've got a job to do, you signed up to do something. I don't know. Let's say your job was to filter the water for an entire community of people, and before you know it, the entire community is poisoned because you didn't do your job. It's It's like, well, that was your fault. Are you going to feel bad when everyone's pissed off at you? Or are you going to say, you're right, I didn't put that chemical in to make sure everything's
Yeah,
safe?
you should feel bad.
You would be, yeah. And in a sense, maybe he should have a sort of.
If you're a healthy human being, if he's a healthy human being, you should feel bad for fucking up.
Amen.
And hey, here's the thing that Hiller points out and doesn't point it out enough. It's not Katrin who's being hurt. It's the person in 6th place and in 7th place and in 8th place.
How do you feel about him deleting his Instagram? Possibly.
Whenever I see people delete their social media, I just immediately think batshit crazy.
Oh, fuck.
I just think batshit, like, you're batshit crazy. Like, chill.
You're going on a
but you know
detox.
what? Just now when you said you told people to go like Instagram posts, I don't use social media. I don't even know how to look at likes on my social media. I wouldn't even know where to look.
You're just mad because you're shadow banned and you don't get any likes.
Well, that's probably true too. I just like comments. I like comments, good or bad. I'm a comment whore. So, but I guess there's people out there who kind of live and die by this stuff, and he felt yeah, I just think batshit crazy. Right?
Did you see
this is totally off subject, but what do people do in this day and age? Like when you have all these photos on your Instagram of your girlfriend or boyfriend, and then you break up with them. Like, do you erase those? Like, I would never want to post anything that I would want to erase later.
Well, and that's why we need someone like Dave Castro at the top, because he's spoken about why he doesn't have any photos of anything he wouldn't want to have seen by anybody. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you mean like his family?
He's just a forward-thinking person. Everything he does makes sense. And same thing with what you just said. And if you don't want people to fucking see it, don't put it on the internet, you idiot. Have a little bit of foresight. That's the thing. People don't have that. What do you think
about him erasing his Instagram account? I just think that means someone had a mental breakdown.
There's always something behind it. It's never as simple as, oh, they deleted it, feel bad for them. There's always a reason. And I put people into boxes. So when I'm talking to somebody, I have like these ideas of people, it's like there's, so let's say 20 different types of people. And the second they do something, I'm like, oh, all of a sudden you're close to that box. You're going to have to do something and move yourself out of that one into this one. And I could chalk this guy up to the same. Did you see the guy on Instagram who did Murph? And I made a video about it. And it was a reel that I made. And he was doing Murph and he was half repping. I think it was the day after Memorial Day. And this person.
Is it on your Instagram?
Correct. Yeah. It'll really piss you off. It pissed off a lot of people. And
oh yeah. I remember.
I commented on his video. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And then I put the reel up. And then after an hour, his post had like 200 comments. And that was probably the worst of something I did on accident, which was a mob mentality thing. And it's not what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I actually thought, who cares if someone's not doing Murph? I mean,
oh, come on.
Nah, I don't give a fuck. I'm okay with you.
Well, I'm
okay with anyone who's just working out. I don't give a fuck about what the workout is, if it's Murph or not Murph. The only time I care is when you do it at the events. Other than that, I just say leave everyone alone. But go ahead, unless it's for comedy. I ain't hating though. You do you. I'm not judging you for it. You do it. I'm just saying it doesn't interest me.
Let's say that it has nothing to do with working out then. And let's say that you wanted to go out with your family, but it wasn't about going out with your family. It was more important that you show the world that you're going to hang out with your family. So you go out, you go to like Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. I know you never go there, but let's say
I used to love that place as a kid.
All right, guys, take a picture with the mouse, take a picture over there and go to the ball pit. We'll take a picture. And then your kids are fucking suffering because like you care more about the pictures and the stuff you're going to put on the internet. And then the next day, everyone's like, oh, look how good of a time Sivan had with his kids at Chuck E. Cheese. And in the meantime, your kids are all like, my dad didn't even talk to me. He was too busy editing photos the entire time.
Okay, I hear you. How does that parallel to doing an ass Murph?
So he had his Murph post was 10 pictures long, and the camera was in different angles and different positions. And it's like, look at where my pull-ups look like here. And let's see how my run went here. And I was in the basement over here. It's because he had his phone moving around and he had more of an importance put onto the idea that everyone would see him doing Murph than he was actually doing Murph. It was like, hey, I did it. It's up a little bit. We're getting a little bit back.
I know. Now I'm just
this one's good. This one's good. This is one of my favorites.
One of my favorites too.
That's Alexis. There's the fiance.
Hey, this was just this.
wait,
was
wait,
just,
don't turn it off yet.
This was. I'm not. Yeah. Hey, this is just some. This is just some rando you saw on Instagram and you went at him for his Murph depiction.
Somebody sent it to me, but yeah, it was a rando. That rope climb one is good. I've never seen anybody do this before. I bet Liver King could do it.
You're all juiced up.
I'm super juiced up. Yep. That was a month or so after semifinals last year. Hardest part's coming down. The second hardest part is being afraid that when you accidentally fall, you're going to die because you're going to catch your nuts on that plate.
I'm going to try that.
Way to rope climb?
Yeah,
Don't hurt yourself.
I won't.
Promise?
I promise.
Have you ever done one before, like a weight vest or anything?
No.
That 55-pound plate was ridiculous. It was nothing like it. I did not expect it to be that hard. I was actually going to go heavier. I'm like, nope, I'm going to die.
Hey, imagine if something did go wrong there, you could have your fucking balls pushed up into your ass.
I probably would have broken my tailbone. Like, just imagine like coming down on that thing.
Oh God.
That's Charles Oakley. You
Oh,
know who that is?
no. Who?
He played for the Bulls. So a guy that I work with, is Charles Oakley, and we put him through a training session one day.
His nice hair.
He said that every day when he wakes up, he just hops on the Stairmaster for an hour still, and he's 67, I think, Charles Oakley.
Damn, he looks good.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that guy standing next to him, who's that in the blue shirt? Before I say something mean about him.
His name is John. I work with him one-on-one.
Did Matt Fraser really say in one of your videos, you say Matt Fraser told people, hey, don't post your fucking big lifts, your training lifts. Did he really say that? Where did he say that?
Similar
you said
to
it, by the way, for
Froning,
people
I
who are
think
listening. Hiller said it in reference to he was going back and looking at Guy's old lifts to show you that, hey, he was actually about to go for the jerk, and he was using Guy's own footage to portray that. And at that, he goes, by the way, Matt Fraser warned you guys, don't post all your fucking lifts.
Similar to Froning, I've just kind of listened to everything Matt's ever said, and it just kind of stews up there, and it pops out when it needs to pop out. And that was an instance. He said it at least twice. Like, hey, why does anyone else need to know what I'm doing? I'm not going to give them any sort of insight into my training.
And what do you think about that? Do you think that's worth it to not post it, but then to not build the hype around yourself?
We were on a show with Medeiros, and you asked him what his mile time was, and would he tell you?
No.
Same idea. He doesn't want people to know, because let's say you're at an event at the games and it's first cut and you're doing a run and everyone knows that your mile time is this mile time. They can all of a sudden extrapolate a expected run time for you, and it's just information that doesn't do you any justice at the games level. Like giving them information on you. People are smart. They'll remember shit.
My favorite post that Matt's ever done by far are the ones where he showed the building of his barn. I actually watched all those. I thought those were fucking cool.
I like those too. That's not easy. How many gyms have you put together?
None. One. My garage gym.
It's like not terrible. It's just work. It's actually kind of idiot proof. It's like giant Legos, but they're heavy as shit, and the stall mats aren't fun to move. I've probably done a dozen gyms at this point, moving things in and out. I know other people have done it too, because everyone likes to help everyone move gyms around.
Yeah, they love it. It's a good way to hurt your back. Don't do it. I don't know. I don't know what I was saying here in my notes, but I'm kind of ripping on the sponsors. I think the only cool sponsor CrossFit has is Rogue.
Agreed. You don't like Monster?
No, it's stupid. I'm not. Red Bull. At least Red Bull would be cooler. When I think of Monster, I just think of, like I've told you before, I think of Tang. I think of it's just like the ass of energy drinks, like it's lowbrow energy drink.
You don't like Tang?
And when I think of Whoop and Noble, I just think of them as like companies that probably had their name before their product. Like it's just soft.
In 2014 or 15, I had a member tell me about Noble. It's like, hey, this is going to be the next big thing. And I'm like, that's a stupid name. Hasn't changed.
So yeah. You in the video you did with Katrin, You talk about yourself for the first 2 minutes, talking about your elbow.
There it is.
Was that inspired by Craig Ritchie? Were you like, oh, I'm going to do like Craig Ritchie and make the first part of the video about me?
You know, I figured since he's got almost 350,000 subs that I got to learn something from him, right?
You're a good dude.
No, fuck you. First of all, I was.
First, let me get this off.
Do you know how many? Do you know how many? Yeah. Get that. Everyone asks, like, "Hey, how's your elbow doing?" It's like, all right, this is the best way for me to get it across. Let's try to blow this out in 2 minutes. So this freaking computer situation. I'm going to do a recap on a video put out by Jason CF Media elbow, which was just blocked.
Look at this guy showing his elbow.
That's not my elbow. That's a former part of my elbow.
The
little
bone's
bone in there.
down here.
A little bone in there was not allowing it to do what I wanted to do. So annoying.
Okay, so a shitload of people were asking, so you just like, all right, fuck you guys. I'll tell you what happened.
And I felt like I did it in a way where it still like got everything out across. And by the time I was done with it, you weren't bored to death.
I just wanted to attack Craig Ritchie. I actually thought it could be its whole own video where you talked about your elbow.
Yeah, but that's me talking about myself for the point of talking about myself, and I hate when people do that.
I don't know the bone spur. I think a lot of people have bone spurs, and they'd be interested in that.
It is something that I'd never seen personally. I mean, I know people who lack range of motion, and they go to the same people that I went to, and they're always hearing that it's like, oh, this is tight and that's tight, but in reality, there's a mechanical blockage.
And it's a bone. It's a bone spur.
Yeah, it won't let you do it. It was the worst, dude.
There is a section in this video where you use a metaphor, and it is so fucking good. You talk about coloring in the lines.
I knew you were gonna say because I've had a couple of people say they like that one.
No Caso instead of Picasso. a no Caso. If you tell someone to draw, if there's a circle and you tell someone to color it in red and they get it perfect, you're a Picasso. If you paint outside the line, it's a no Caso. And it's like, do you want to be a Picasso or a no Caso? And he does it so much better than I just did it. And you talk about the reps. Yeah, reps are meant to be fucking judged. That's the whole reason we do. That's what the games are about. They're made to be judged.
We can parallel everything to everything. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've experienced this where it's like you walk in there or like maybe you see an art museum and everyone's like, oh, look how awesome this is. And you're like, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
The thing about what we're doing is there shouldn't be arbitrary, like you shouldn't have opinions on it. Like if you look at it, it's like, that is red, that is blue, that is green, that is yellow.
That's a woman, that's a man.
Everyone's trying to say the Mona Lisa is the best painting ever, but that's opinion based. And it shouldn't be. I don't know, is it?
Yeah, who the fuck knows? But to be critical of you for judging something that absolutely has to be judged in order to exist. It is the foundation of competition. Really strict rules and guidelines so we can fucking pick a winner. Super well defined.
You know what's been driving me nuts is and I know I've done it before too, so maybe this makes me a hypocrite, is the constant comparison to other sports. Because I think that what you wanted to bring up in the 2013 press conference with Dave was that there is no comparison between CrossFit and other sports. It is its own thing. It's kind of coming from its own place. And stop trying to make it look like these other things and stop trying to say, well, in the NFL and in the NBA and then blah, 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 bullshit. Fuck you. Like, what's wrong with being your own thing and being fucking awesome?
Yeah, take what they've done, learn from it, and make it better or don't. But it's your own thing. You don't have to follow their rules of what they do. Just like the California hormone games, there'll be no testing. Fuck you.
No testing. Was that happening? When's the date on that?
No testing. Soon. I'd say we're a year away.
Interesting. Okay. Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars.
It's the 17th, right?
Who is the most powerful man in fitness? Yes.
You like that?
Yeah. I think you nailed it. I wonder how many people really know
It's like, oh, Rogan
his influence.
Maybe more after 12,000, almost 13,000 more, hopefully, after watching that video.
I want to read some of the comments here. I haven't looked at any of them.
I used to try to answer all of these, and I can't. It's so tough. I sit there and I'm just like, see how many I can nail out.
God, do you have to wear your bra when you do these? Damn.
Someone said that?
Yeah, and it's someone named Hannah. I'm always impressed when it's girls who go hard in the comments. I'm so sexist. I just think that women don't do that.
How do you like this one?
Oh, that's nice. Did you get that free?
No, I think it was like $10. But I'm a sucker for Costco branded stuff. I got a sweatshirt too.
Costco. I've never heard anyone being a sucker for Costco branded stuff. First time I've noticed the Hiller battle. There's nothing in here about Bill Henniger. I want to hear what people think about Bill. I was thinking that Dave and Bill would partner up and make Rogue Invitational bigger and better. A way to keep Dave involved in CrossFit space that'll make an impact on helping affiliates, since most affiliates purchase 90% of their equipment from Rogue. Man, he is the man. You won't catch me saying anything bad about him on this show.
That being Bill.
Yeah, or Katie. Yeah, Bill's the man.
I think I wrote it maybe in the comment section, which is that he almost has more influence than somebody like The Rock, right?
Yeah.
It's different, but I think that it's on the same level as, because The Rock can come out with an energy drink and everyone's going to buy it. But if Bill does want to pull his equipment out of the games, he could put an entire freaking world under the water if he wanted to. The Rock, he can make a post on the internet, but does he have that kind of power? I don't think he can put an entire company the size of CrossFit under if he wanted to.
There are some fucking amazing things that Rogue has done, and its reach is crazy. Whether it be into NFL teams, whether it be into universities, they're equipped, whether it be into the U.S. military, its arm is fucking long. And yeah, it's no joke. I think Bill's kind of like Apple Computer. I think Bill's a very frugal man, and I think he sits on an enormous pile of cash. I think that from what I know, the Rogue has zero debt.
What do you think he's going to do with it?
And that they're their own manufacturing plant. Well, you pointed out that one thing. He's notorious, I think, for just buying up companies, right? He's like a tech company, but in that website really is, that Rogue Fitness website is the Amazon of fitness. And
Did you look into that company at all? That Ghost Strong company?
No.
It's interesting. The main thing that I think I always try to say,
I bet you Will had that. I bet you Bill had the money to buy that in his wallet.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm serious. Go ahead.
Maybe.
Yeah, go ahead. What were we going to say about it?
The couple of layers of this, I'm like, why'd he buy it? And then once I clicked around on a couple of the socials, you would see that the owner was going through a tough time. And I think that his parents were both sick and he was getting run down, and he kind of approached Bill and he's like, hey man, I have this company. And Bill, I think, saw the company and saw this one thing, which is a J cup with the ability to roll the bar laterally. And I think that it was a kind of a mutual helping decision. So Bill's like, yeah, sure, I'll buy your company. It also helped this guy out. And it's one of those things that powerful people can do.
Yep. Probably without even Dick Butter, Bill's too big of a pussy to sponsor this podcast, though.
Hope he sees that. Maybe he'll put you out of business.
All of a sudden, my internet connection. He buys the block I live on. So this is just folklore, but I'll just tell you just how crazy it is. He basically, the city of Columbus fucking loves him where he's based, and Columbus, Ohio. And they basically gave him fucking some sort of probably insane tax break on buying a couple blocks of the city. They were completely fucking dilapidated. And he built a massive fucking manufacturing plant there in the fucking Rogue headquarters. Something crazy, like 600,000 square feet, fucking put in grass. And I think next door to it on another city block, he built like a little stadium. It's all there. You can go look.
Have you been there?
No, but I've just seen pictures and heard. You've been there?
It's sick. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he refurbished a whole section of town, brought fucking 1,000 fucking jobs there, 1,000. And then this fucking guy starts buying all the shit home crack homes in the area that are probably anywhere from like $10,000 to $100,000, and starts fucking making it fucking a habitable place. I mean, he did a complete, what's it called, redevelopment project around his fucking business in the United States. I mean, there's really nothing better you can do for humanity when you start just giving people jobs and self-worth and self-respect. I mean, the only thing he could do better, you're right, would be to sponsor this podcast. That would take some cojones. You're right.
Rogue is constantly hiring. Everyone I know that does anything
Hiring
is looking at like Rogue positions, like just trolling their website. Like, hey, what can I do over at Rogue?
Yeah.
They're also usually CrossFit minded people.
In the video, in the video. I mean, his fucking wife is a stud. Katie Henniger, 2008 CrossFit Games champion. You say that when Dave got fired, Bill like immediately there was a Dave Castro shirt popped up on the website.
It was in like a week. It's just bam, we're shirting.
Yeah, that's like that. So it wasn't like that when I was fired. Just so you know, when I was fired, everyone's like, get him the fuck away from me. It was like I was fucking made of fucking
you were COVID.
Yeah, like
COVID,
if you got
man.
next to me, you were gonna
Patient
die.
zero.
Is the great Tommy Marquez says persona non grata.
Oh gosh. That's the other thing about the press conference.
Instead, he gets fired and fucking Bill Henniger gives him his own shirt, which is like a fuck you to CrossFit. Oh, Bill.
He can do what he wants, right? Like,
Oh,
what are they?
Bill,
What are people going to say to him?
Nothing.
Apparently,
Just
he
stick
has his own little town. You just said he's like that episode of Family Guy where he creates his own city and no one says it, and everyone just like surrounds him. It's like, all right, leave him alone. Pretoria.
You just poke a finger in CrossFit's eye. You go away.
CrossFit season 15 gentrification. You know what that means? Gentrification.
Yeah, gentrification. It's one. I think it's one of those bullshit words. It's like when good things are happening in a neighborhood and they want to blame white people. I think that's what gentrification is.
Oh.
So and then in the video you suggest that Bill pressured CrossFit Inc. to bring Dave back. And at first I thought I was intrigued by that, but he has since he's been fired. I think he's been out to Bill's ranch in Texas at least 3 times, and that's a very special place to Bill. I don't.
Did
think
you like that part with the rock?
No, like Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like you're only invited there if you really mean something to Bill. Like average Joes don't go there. Like I probably am not even allowed in the state of Texas. Bill probably has like a rule that I can't go there.
I love comparing things to movies, as you know, and that very much is like the guy who's sitting at that table just waiting to give his speech to the Godfather. Thank you for letting me come to your wedding. It's like that's how important it is to be brought out to Texas.
Yes.
And that it's like, thank you. And everyone's like, is that guy talking to himself? It's like Dave was probably talking to himself, getting ready to go see Bill Henniger. And then kisses the ring, puts the rock on the little statue. Everyone's like, what's up with those rocks out in Texas? And to be honest, I don't really know what the deal is. Do you know what the deal is with those rocks?
There's some really difficult running course, and every time Bill ran it, he put a rock there, and I was a little disgusted to see that Dave Castro put a rock on Bill's pile. I was like, so he ran Bill's. It's like putting a notch on another man's bedpost. It's no, just because you fucked in his bed doesn't mean you get to put a notch on his bedpost. He ran the course that Bill ran, and then put a rock on Bill's pile. I didn't like that at all. Whenever Bill posts that pile, I always like to think, wow, Bill's run that course a lot of times.
Now you're wondering how many people have run his course.
Yeah, exactly. How many people have slept in that bed?
Shit.
But and then I don't know if you saw Dave put out a week in review video of his life a couple days ago. I think Dave got heat stroke on that run.
Did he say that in the video?
Yeah, he said he fucking was the next day. He was fucked up. He said he overheated on that run and something happened. He didn't feel so good for a few days.
You ever have heat stroke?
No. Sevon is the dumbest mark on the internet. He just says shockingly ignorant shit while in the midst of enlightening conversation.
Damn right he does.
Look at it.
Well, you got a problem, P. Sterling?
No, but look at his profile picture. That's that's the face you make when Bill Henniger puts 2 fingers in your ass without licking them first.
And that would be the shockingly ignorant shit that you say in the midst of the enlightening conversation. Ironically,
look at that photo, Mr. Sterling. You were getting it.
I can't. That was great.
Uh,
Do you ever think that though? You're like, damn, I'm dumb, but I'm also so smart. Because that guy's onto you. He knows you well, better than he thinks he does.
I don't ever think.
I think I'm dumb all the time, but then I also think I'm so dumb because I only think of one thing.
I
There's
don't.
usually only one, like a dog chasing cars. It's like, oh, there's another one. There's a car. There's a car. It's like, but it's always a car. It's like it's CrossFit. It's like, oh, there's a car. There's a car. I think you do the same thing, but it's different.
The only reason why I'm not dumb is because I'm open. And so, someone will be like, fuck, Sevon, you've completely, someone will post something, you've completely lost your way. You fucking are so close-minded and you don't accept anyone. And I'll be like, huh. And I'm open to that. Like, shit, I need to, you know what I mean? I just feel like I'm pretty open. That's my saving grace, but I'm definitely not smart. Like, I couldn't tell you, I don't know what the periodic chart of elements is. I took chemistry. No, I took chemistry for a year and I still don't know what a fucking mole is.
Chemistry is the worst subject ever created. I don't understand why it's a subject.
So yeah.
I have a feeling they're just trying to figure out who needs to be chemist. People don't know if they don't know.
I'm an alchemist.
Explain.
I don't know. I just want to be an alchemist.
I
turn bad situations into funny moments.
You do that. You sure do that. Accepting everyone.
Bring me your weak. Bring me your straight. Bring me your gay. Bring me your dogs. Bring me your cats. I fucking killed a mole in the backyard yesterday with a shovel. A gopher.
The fuck? Why? What was it doing? Eating
in
your avocado trees?
Garden. It was in my vegetable garden, and I saw him digging, and my kids called me over, and I just got the shovel and I killed him. And I thought it was going to make my kids cry, but they were kind of proud of me.
Were you kind of fucked up about it? Like, oh no, my kids
I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel good about it. I did not feel good about it. But
I don't see you as a murdering type of person.
No, I did not feel good about it. But I've 30% of the shit I plant, I lose to gophers, and I've lost fucking thousands and thousands of dollars in fruit trees, and it's like I just can't.
I've never seen a gopher.
You haven't?
What do they do? What do they look like? I've seen possums. Do you have those?
I'll show you. Yeah, the possums are
gophers.
Okay, I'll show
are
you.
they dangerous?
No, they just fucking live in the ground.
Would it be like, so you're in California, I'm in Illinois, would that be like a squirrel? Are they that common?
Yes, they're fucking everywhere, but no one ever sees them. You just see the holes they make, and they fucking they eat the roots of things.
Oh, it's like a prairie dog.
Yeah, kind of, but not cool like that. Prairie dogs are way cooler, unless you own cows.
What so this thing will just in your house.
Hey, dude, see this.
It's a squirrel, dude.
See that dirt?
Yeah.
So I have thousands of those all over my property. Mounds of dirt like that.
What's wrong with your property? Why do they like it there?
Because I plant so much shit. Because I have so many trees and stuff.
It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
It is.
Can't you get an exterminator?
Oh, is this the guy's? This is the guy's podcast you're on. Coffee Pods and Wads. Sevon, I don't get Chemi.
I got nothing. I don't know what that means.
I think that's chemistry, and that's like if you're good at chemistry, you can call it chemi. I wanted to see if Mr. Sterling. Look at Joe. It doesn't matter if you kill him.
I don't know. I feel like there's something that you can do to keep him out.
No, you can't. You can't.
Do they burrow underground to get there?
Hey, dude, I have this fucking 2 pretty big vegetable beds, right? It's a raised bed made of wood. It's 4 by 10 feet, and I have 2 of them, or 6 by 10 feet. And on the bottom is fucking layers of wire, so that when it sits on the ground, the gopher can't come up. Yesterday, there's a fucking gopher in there. Like, how the fuck did you get in there? My mom's like, how did you get in there? I'm like, I don't know.
I'd be so pissed.
It sucks. And you spend hours planting shit. Hey, dude, like I've gone to the store, bought a fucking $500 tree, like fruit tree, come home. So that's an hour and a half of my time. Dug a hole that's 3 feet by 3 feet. That's another hour and a half of my time. Make all the soil mixture perfect. Lay the whole inside of it with wire to protect the roots so the gophers can't get it. And a fucking year later, the fucking thing's dead. And it's like falling over like this because the gophers fucking ate it all the way to the stem. Fuck those guys.
I see the next shirt being made right now. And it's going to
What?
be you dressed up as Bill Murray on a golf course, Caddyshack style, blowing up your backyard.
Sometimes sometimes it's like that. There's just I'm walking around out there with a shovel.
Do you just
What
get
vi-
pissed as fuck? Do you just get so angry you see one and you just go red? You only see red.
No, when you see
There's
them, you
things
get
like that
excited.
with me. No,
When I see the
what?
holes, I get angry. When I see the gophers, I get excited. I'm like happy. I'm like, oh, you're gonna
You
die.
need. Do you own weapons?
Yes,
Do you use the weapons?
yes.
Good.
The best thing to do, the funnest thing to do is when you see them and they're in a hole. I have these things that are smoke bombs, these huge fucking gopher smoke bombs, and you light it and you put it down there and you cover the hole, and you know they're getting fucking just gassed.
Oh my god.
I know.
This is it.
a dark side of Sevon.
You know what I do? I take a hose and I drown them. I'm like, get out of my fucking house. I do that with chipmunks though. I'm like, get out of here.
Oh, I've heard this before. Use juicy fruit gum for moles. Put it at the opening of their holes. No more moles. Do you chew it first?
Is that guy trying to be Dr. Seuss or what the hell is going on here?
No, that's true. I've heard that before.
What does it do? It kills them?
I'm assuming. I heard it's bad for birds too. You're not supposed to throw gum out your window because if they eat that shit, they're toast.
Oh yeah, they explode.
Really?
I think that's a joke,
could-
but
Uh-oh.
I know they can't handle it. I think the joke is that they explode.
What video comes out next? What are you putting out next? Is something coming out today?
You know, I've actually got one on tap that I have created, and I don't know when I want to put it up because right now I'm on a CrossFit roll. I was just clicking around on the internet, and it was just random stuff that I thought was funny. And I'm sure. Do you have a Facebook?
No.
All right, so I do, and I've had it since 2008 or whenever the hell I opened it. And recently, I started getting a bunch of run requests. I'm like, oh, cool! I'm just going to accept everybody.
Yeah.
And of course, with that comes messages, and in it, someone offered me a bunch of money, and I was like, all right, I'm going to play along with this guy because clearly he's not going to give me money, but I'm going to start messing with him.
Yeah.
So I actually made a video about how I was messing with him.
So it's a scammer, and you engaged him.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I took 20 minutes out of my life to create a random ass video, and I'm like, I wonder how this will do. It'll like bridge off the CrossFit stuff. It'll give me a break because really the stuff like the one I made yesterday, I was actually kind of messed up about it. Like, this sucks. I don't want this. Isn't fun right now. Like, they're not even doing anything to help themselves out. So I needed to chill out and do something else. I don't know if I'll put that up.
Do you think the
tomorrow or
masters are
whatever.
really bummed? Do you think they see that and they're really bummed? Not only for the reason that dudes are going to the games who don't deserve it, but just that there's a lack of
I tell you what,
effort on CrossFit's part put into their competition.
I'm sure. I mean, everything I ever do, it always stems from positions I've been in, knowing how I felt, and then wondering what these masters feel like, or wondering what the Jordy Jermillions of the world feel like. When
Right.
they're sitting right there where there could have been something that would have changed things. And the entity that is just disregards it entirely and says, fuck you. We do what we want. And after a while, it's like, all right, well, why don't they do anything about it? Why don't they tell us why they don't do anything about it? And it's upsetting. I would be very upset. I was upset. I was upset, and I'm not even the person in that position. But like, imagine the guy sitting 11th right now in the Masters 65. He's sitting right there, and he's like, could I have been at the games this year? If the answer is maybe, probably. Look at his score, probably.
That's what I keep thinking too. I'd be so fucking bummed. I put in all this effort to participate.
The badass answer to the question is, if you're that guy, next year you want to be so fit that it doesn't fucking matter like what happens.
Right.
Like, oh, let's say something goes wrong. It's like,
You
all
can
right,
beat the cheaters too.
Correct. Yeah, like Matt Frazier would never worry about any of this shit. And that's the badass answer. But the real answer is like, CrossFit, do your job. And like, what if it happens again? And then it happens again. Let's say you're Tyler Christoffel and every year in the Lanchess qualifier and you're like half a spot out. And this is on him, but let's say it wasn't on him. How many years in a row can you take it where you're just like right there? And then it's like, all right, another year. All right, another year. And after a couple of years, you think CrossFit would figure the fuck out.
Hey, you know how some coaches, like if someone in your camp's doing steroids, they kick you out.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
What if someone got kicked out for doing bad reps? What if like Kotler was like, "Yo, Danielle, you're fucking bad for the underdog athletics name. You're not squatting below parallel in your open video. If you do that one more time, you're fucking out."
So this happens at the affiliate level, right?
No, what?
If there's bad members, they get booted.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that.
Now, in relation to repetitions, it's usually not that aggressive, but
I bet you
think
it's
that
never
they're-
happened. I bet you it's never happened. No coach has ever kicked out one of their, being
Well,
such,
it-
it's
it
basically being
depends.
such a shitty mover, right?
Depends on the way that you go about it. The people need to have like the ability to look at situations objectively. And like if there's someone in the corner who's just like coming in to like fuck around, I think you say this a lot too. And they're doing their own thing. They don't want to do all the reps. They're not squatting all the way down, but they're getting a good workout in. They go home. It's like, but they're also not bugging anybody. Like
Right.
let them be to an
Right.
extent, to a degree.
Right.
Like they could be 60 years old. That's the first time they've ever worked out before. They're doing the best they fucking can. And it's not like they walk up to everyone after class and they're like, "Oh, I just did that workout and I did it in this amount of time." And everyone around them is then like, "But you didn't do the workout."
Yeah.
Those are the people that tend to then edge their way out of CrossFit gyms / are kicked out of CrossFit gyms. And I'm saying that everybody
like Donald
should,
Trump Jr.'s Murph.
a lot like Donald Trump Jr.'s Murph. He's like, "Guys, I did it in 31 minutes." Like, fuck you. You didn't do it in 31 minutes.
Yeah.
It just depends on the way that you go about your activity.
Wait, what is this? What is this right
You
here?
you always hope that everyone knows what.
Our owner denied Fikowski working out at our gym because he didn't want athletes taking up space from the clients. Wow.
That's a good owner.
That's because
And I'm sure
Fikowski.
Fikowski also understands.
That's because Fikowski's 6'4". If he would have been Colt Mertens, he would have been allowed because he would have taken up less space.
Adam blinks. He goes, "If they aren't putting their score up on the leaderboard and marking it RX, nobody cares," which I would say is most of the way there, because there are usually people who care about everything all the time. People always care. But I would say that the person who like puts RX in the workout and everyone knows they didn't do the workout the right way. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever been like
Yes,
a tracking
yes.
app?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
We keep on using Fran. So let's say you do Fran and you put in there that you did 301 and everyone's like, "Okay, Savon scaled it." And then everyone goes in at night and they're like, "And he pressed the RX button, but he used 75 pounds. That piece of shit." He didn't do it RX. Everyone's like, "Okay, Savon's using 75 pounds. He wants to get more intensity." And we understand. And then the rage that comes when they see that you press the RX button. They're like,
Yes,
"Did he do it
yes.
on accident?" We don't fucking know if he did it on accident. That fucker's a cheater. He does this all the time. So
You're right. It really is like that too. It really is like
are
that
you going to
too.
get kicked out of the gym for it? It depends on the toxicity you might be bringing to that environment.
At HQ, I would fuck with people's shit. Like if they wrote their score on the board and then later on I saw like they didn't put like that they scaled it. You know what I mean? Like I would go write scaled next to it or fuck with them or fucking add time to it, change their time. Just like fuck you.
They probably took it the right way as well, right? They're like, "Oh fuck, I messed up, my bad."
I don't know. I to tell the truth, I probably did stuff like that. Like I was, I don't know, frequently, and I don't ever remember interacting with anyone about it. But dude, it was savage working there. There was like so there were like, let's say 100 of us who worked in the office, and it was funny because it was mostly people from the games department who would do this, but like it would be someone's birthday and they'd bring in like a whole fucking platter of fucking homemade cupcakes, right? And they'd be sitting in our cafeteria, and then someone from the media department would go in there and be like, "Hey dude, there's a platter of cupcakes, come in here with me." And I'd go in there with them and I'd hold their phone and video, and they'd just walk over to this person's whole platter of birthday cupcakes and just dump them, slide them into the trash. And then
That's awesome.
And then post a video like on Slack or something so everyone can see. It was fucked up. People would be pissed.
That would be a good Planet Fitness video. You know how they do like their pizza Fridays? You go in there and you just like start throwing out pizzas. You're like, "This is a fucking gym. What is wrong with you people?"
No, I haven't seen that. They do that?
Something like that. They've got like a Friday pizza or bagels on Monday. I don't know.
Where the fuck did you see that? That's on YouTube?
No, it's a real thing. Like Planet Fitness is, Planet Fitness?
Yeah, I heard of it, but I'm just wondering how you know that. You're too busy
Oh, and-
making videos and hanging out in your garage.
You know, I've had a life before the life. All right. You know, just like you sit there and you make videos all day. You're talking about your previous experiences. All right.
I used to play with insects.
I know. I put that up. You should one of these days. You should do a review of all of your insect shit. Like, look at this picture of this bug. It's like, did you know that this bug melts the insides of other bugs and eats it? What did that say?
I don't know. I sometimes
One of
I
my
think maybe-
favorite comments ever. So like people ask, hey, Andrew, how do you address people who are cheating in the gym? And it's like, you just do it. So my favorite ever was I came up to this guy and I was like, hey, I see that you didn't do all those snatches, or maybe you weren't locking them out all the way. And I'm like, do you know? He goes, man, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And I was just like dumbfounded. I'm like, holy shit, this guy knows. And he knows that I know, and he doesn't give a fuck. And I'm like, all right, dude, but here's the thing. I'm like, all right, dude, I like that you're super straightforward at this. What you're going to need to do is stop it, cut it the fuck out, or like work out on your own, because you're driving everyone insane. Like, don't put your workouts in. Like, I know you want the intensity of everything. So you know what he did? He started working out on his own.
Yeah.
He's like,
Did
all right,
you lose him as a member? Did you lose him as a member?
No,
Oh.
stayed.
Oh.
It was wild. Some people just know. Like, that's the thing about all this, is like, maybe that's something that I've understood, is that a lot of the time people know. Watching Ketron, do you know your chest isn't touching the ground? I think you know.
There was a guy at CrossFit when I worked there, big strong guy, and he looked fit as shit, but everyone knew. Well, I didn't know, but everyone would. Whenever he was fucking, when he'd be done, everyone would fucking congregate and be like, he cheated. And what's kind of amazing to me is when I'm working out, I can't really pay attention to anyone else. Like, I'm just trying to fucking survive. But there's people like counting his reps and shit, and and he just had a reputation of being a cheater. He just had that reputation.
I was listening to Chase.
And he was a
the
good
other day.
dude. He was a cool dude. I liked the dude.
Chase the other day said something similar, where when you're coaching a class and you have like 12 to 15 people in it, you're looking around and you know when reps aren't right. It's like when you've coached for long enough, it's like it doesn't take very long to see that there's something wrong. That's the biggest issue, is that the entire CrossFit industry is full of people like that they can see it, like, that's not right. And why can't the judges see that? And to build off of that, the same thing happens with repetitions. If an entire room is opening up with 21 thrusters on a workout and one person's 10 seconds faster, but you can notice that the cadence of their thrusters wasn't quicker than everyone else, all of a sudden you're like, all right, that person didn't do all their thrusters, and now you're counting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's you. I mean, that's from the coach's perspective, but you also think about it. You're like, okay, if that person did his thrusters faster than me, I'm going to get to the bar at the same time. I'm going to match his cadence. And if he puts the bar down before me, I know that he didn't do all the repetitions. This is the type of stuff that drives these people insane, Sevan.
No one likes a, I guess no one likes a cheater. I guess it's a bad look. I was at the beach 2 days ago, and there was, I forget what it's called. It's a summer program. What's the lifeguard program called in California?
You're asking me? I've never left Illinois. I have, but I've never been to California.
I can't believe. Anyway, our beaches are full right now with these summer programs, and it's kids who are just basically running on the beach and swimming in the water. If you go to the beach, you'll see them. They're there every day. Shitloads of kids on all of our beaches. Shitloads. It's called it looks like Baywatch. What the fuck is that program called? I can't.
I was gonna say Baywatch.
Junior Guards. It's called Junior Guards.
Would have never known.
So yesterday or 2 days ago, I was at the beach with my kids, and there's these 13-year-old boys, a crew of about 40 of them running, and they're running back and forth between cones. And there's two boys who are letting people lap them, and then they're running in, and they're giggling and they're laughing. And I can hear one of the boys telling the other boy, "Hey, they're going to see that we're cheating," and the other one's like, "No, they're not." And I used to do shit like that, and I was watching them, and I was like, "Fuck, man, they're only cheating themselves." They're like, at the end of the day, all those other kids are getting more fit. I did it though because I was embarrassed of how shitty I was.
You did what? Because you were embarrassed.
Like, I cheated in PE because I was embarrassed how shitty I was. You know what I mean? Like, they'd be like, go out and run a mile, and I knew I was always going to be last, and I was doing it to avoid the discomfort of being last.
Interesting.
Like,
So
you know what I mean? Like, they would do the pull-up test, the presidential pull-up test, and all the boys would be here and all the girls here, and I'd go with the girls. because I couldn't do one.
People are so interesting because you never
because I
think
couldn't
about
do
that.
one pull up. What'd you say?
People are interesting because you don't really ever think about that. Like they're just embarrassed of being last.
Yeah, you don't want to be seen as like
Usually, and in this case, people are cheating because they want to be first.
right.
So that is interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why anyone ever cheats or lies. They're avoiding discomfort,
Well, that's accurate.
right? You cheat on a test because you're avoiding the discomfort of getting an F later.
I was listening to and you didn't want to do the work to get an A.
Yeah.
I was listening to something the other day about the ability to like switch your mindset into something, and it was in relation, I think, to the big thing about it was like when you hear criticism, you want to start liking it. Like you want to hear it, you want to try to dive into it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And it's something that a lot of people don't have, but I think may have been more prominent a decade, 2 decades ago. It's like they hear things, it's like, okay, criticism, thank you, more. And I think that there's a lot of people who still have it, but it's been, people call it being soft. And I don't know. I don't like the general words people throw around. Like you say woke, people say soft. And I'm like, I don't like to jump into those, but I do think people used to be much tougher. And they used to like dive into criticism and they used it to get better. And it's like what you were saying. It's like you possibly were trying to take the easy way out because you didn't want to be last. But then there's also a whole subset of people that were like, okay, so I got last on this. The way that I get better is I'm going to go run shuttles on my own. So the next time I got to run with all these people, I don't take last.
Right.
I don't like talking about myself, but I remember in wrestling, we were doing like this down and back thing in college, first day. And he didn't like what we were doing. So he took us out to the field house and he goes, you're running 200-meter sprints until you throw up. When you vomit, you can go home. And I remember people like shoving their fingers down their throat because they're like, if I throw up, I go home. And it's like, fuck you guys. It's like, run harder. Like, I've never thrown up before. And before you know it, you're vomiting in a tub because it's like, all right, this is how I go home. And I'm not trying to like say that it was too tough. It was just, it is what it is. And a bunch of people quit after that.
I didn't learn that lesson until I was in my 20s. What you said. I was in my 20s.
I was about 20. Yeah.
I was in my 20s and one of my friends was really into Frisbee and I could not throw a Frisbee for the fucking life of me. I couldn't even throw it 5 feet. And he insisted, and we would always, it was, and he would, we were going to junior college. Maybe we were in our late teens. And he basically at night when we were done partying, like on Saturday nights or whatever, we'd always go to his house. We'd be like hungover and he would always make me go out into the front of his house. Like he lived in a cul-de-sac and throw a Frisbee with him. And fucking after a fucking while, I got better. And then I got better. And then I got better. And then I could throw a Frisbee fucking better than anyone I knew. But and then I was like, holy shit. And it was just on accident. And I was that, but I'd never been taught.
Are you saying that you could compete with Brian Friend in Frisbee?
I don't know if in that, I don't know. He plays Frisbee golf. I just played like ultimate Frisbee and throw Frisbee. And there's no way Brian can throw, I don't know about ultimate Frisbee, disc golf Frisbee, but there's no way he can throw ultimate Frisbee as far as me or as accurately as me. No fucking way. I could hit a fucking fly from 20 yards.
Oh,
yeah.
See, this is the type of content people want to see, Sevan. They want to see you murdering flies. That would be awesome.
I can really throw a fucking like 170 gram Frisbee like no other.
Like imagine a fly just sitting over there, and I'm in here, and I just whip my Frisbee at it. I can't whip my arm. I think twice about that.
One time I was at the beach and I was throwing a Frisbee really, really far, like as far as I could, back and forth. And there was probably like 100 people at the beach, like watching. And this fucking old guy walks up and goes, hey, anyone can throw far, but can you throw accurate? And I'm shit you not, there's a girl 20 yards away from me. And I go, hey, look at that girl. And I fucking threw the Frisbee just hard as fuck and fucking tagged her.
Killed her.
In the back of the neck. She started crying. It's just some random bitch just at the beach. And I just fucking it was like, and the guy's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, why are you talking shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like he felt, it was crazy. It was fucking nuts. I was probably like a 12-pack of Natty Iced Tea.
You ever see The Water Boy with Adam Sandler?
I have, but not in 20 years.
It's a scene where he like throws the freaking thing out the window, hits the professor in the neck. And he's like, ah! That's what I imagine the chick was like. He hit her in the neck and she's like, ah!
Yeah, she started crying. And I did feel bad, but also it was like one of those moments I'll never forget. Like, fuck you. I just grabbed it and just struck someone from rando from 20 yards.
And at that moment, you're like, I've been training my whole life for this since the moment I couldn't throw a fucking Frisbee. And now we're here.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about it on the internet.
Hell
A
yeah.
random bitch at the beach. Yeah. Gangsta shit.
Stefan, random bitch at the beach, knocked her out.
Someone throws a Frisbee into group of people and says he's better than you asshole.
Yeah, I hit that one girl out of the 100 people standing there and got her real good. Well, people go through that all the time. Like yours is with the Frisbee. Mine was with baseball. I remember like, you want me to put a baseball glove on my non-throwing hand and catch it? It's like, that's impossible. But over time, you figure it the fuck out.
Yeah. How old were you?
Maybe 8 or 9, a little bit later than some people learn how to play catch. But it's like, you want to catch the ball with your right hand because you're a righty. And then they put it on the left hand. You're like, this is weird. But now if you ask me at the age of 30 to put a glove on my right hand and catch a baseball, that's weird. Like you just get used to shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're a good Frisbee man now, and I can catch with my left hand now. And some people are ambidextrous, and everyone's got to fucking learn how to do something. It just like depends on who. This is like a parenting thing almost, right? It's like my dad was like, here, baseball glove, figure it the fuck out. I'll throw the ball at you. If you don't catch it, it's gonna hit you. I'm like, all right.
A couple days ago, we went to the tennis courts, Jade Street tennis courts. And this thing happens when you go to tennis courts, there'll be people playing. So you have to wait, right? You have to wait your turn. And we're there waiting, and there's a baseball diamond right next to us. And this dad and his son come out and they start playing Frisbee, and they're good. They're good. And my son goes, oh, he's better than you, about the dad. And my son's 7. And I just turn like, are you out of your fucking mind? That guy's not fucking better than me. I fucking lost my shit. And my wife never jumps in. She's always like defending the kid. She's like, he's not better than your dad. And I'm like, yeah, even your mom knows. It was so good. He's like, no, I saw him. He's flicking it forehand. He's better than you. I'm like, he's not better than me. And he wasn't. He wasn't better than me.
Can we send Brian a link? This is the conversation he's got to be in. He'll break down your Frisbee technique and your
but like, there's so many things you could say you're better than me at, and I'd be like, yeah, you're better than me at it. But not the Frisbee. Not the Frisbee.
Taking picture of insects and Frisbee.
Yeah, even that skill may have eroded a bit.
Insects,
going to a bar and getting girls, Brian's 100,000 times better than me.
Just Daniel Brandon.
Anyone he can. I go to the bar. I go to the bar and meet dudes. Someone's like, I had a Great Dane in college, and people are like, you have that dog just to meet girls. I met like 7,000 guys and one girl when you have a Great Dane. Like guys come up to you. Girls.
The best part about being in a committed relationship is that you get to completely remove that part of your life. Like you just said that, and I'm like, God, I'm so happy that I don't have to fucking do that anymore. And like even worry about the other sex.
Yeah.
Do you agree? I listened to Joe Rogan.
You don't even have to wipe your butt anymore. Just take a shit and then get back to work. I got a girl. I got a girlfriend. Like whatever.
That's right. The Joe Rogan podcast. There was one with. Do you know Derek More Plates More Dates? Do you know that guy?
I know of him. He's the guy with the shoulders.
Big ass shoulders.
Yeah. I know him. Yep.
So he was on.
I like it. Of all the angry haters, I like him the most. I can't stand the fucking other haters.
Angry haters.
Like the Bio Lane guy. I can't stand that.
Oh, Derek isn't a hater guy.
No, okay. Good.
I mean, I think.
And that Douche, the Douche guy, I'm not a fan of his hating to either. But go on.
Okay. On the Rogan thing, when Derek was
the More Plates More Dates guy can get kind of into hater mode, can he?
I think anybody can. Same way you can, and same way that I can.
Right. I don't like that part of me. I don't like that part of me either.
That's everyone's favorite part of you, though. Everyone's just like waiting for. Everyone wants you to turn on the episode and just have you tear into whatever the hell you're thinking of at that point.
Oh, that sucks. My mom won't like that.
Oh, maybe she didn't make it through the hour 45. But anyway, Derek and Rogan on that were talking about how the most important thing in their lives was having the female, so that they didn't have to worry about it, because when it comes to it, it takes a lot out of your time. Like imagine if you didn't have your wife. It's like you'd have to take care of your kids. You wouldn't be able to be on the podcast. She does a lot, not necessarily for you, but as a male sitting in that chair right now, you would probably be wired to be looking for somebody.
Oh, right.
So it would just take so much away from what you're doing. So the only reason you can do what you're doing and they do what they do is because of the fact that they're already spoken for, quote unquote.
God, I like to think that if for some reason I didn't have my wife, I'd be a monk. But you're probably.
I don't. You think so?
I mean, I want to be.
Is she in the room with you?
No,
She-
no.
she's
Good question, though. Good question.
I would be a monk.
Good morning, gentlemen. Have a phenomenal weekend, Mr. Olson
Thanks, Mr. Olson.
and the boys.
Hey, I heard Hunter saying you're giving 20% of that to your guests, so
He's full of shit.
I'll,
Hey.
I'll be gladly accepting my $4. $3.98.
Thank you. All right, at 10 a.m., what are you going to be doing at 10 a.m., Andrew?
Eagerly awaiting your release of the Dave Castro episode. Are you shitting yourself? Are you nervous? I know you say you get nervous sometimes. Or is this just your guy and you don't give a hell?
No, I'm nervous.
Do you have how many notes you got? 48 pages.
No, I don't have that many. Here's the thing. I don't want to. He's the kind of guy who's going to be like, hey, ask me whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? And I'm in a space that's like, I don't want to fuck with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love the dude.
So you're
but he'll be really disappointed if I don't fuck with it. Like, if I don't like he wants to fight, like he's going to want to fight. Like he likes to wrestle. He's your friend who comes over to wrestle. And like, if you're playing video games, he's like, what?
That's pressure, man. I
So
He's like, hey, I want you to wrestle with me, but I want
he's
you to
gonna be
wrestle, but
bummed.
if you hurt me, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
I want to sit around and drink beers with him, and he's gonna want to fucking fight, and it's gonna be like, okay, like I'd rather just like fool around, but I'm gonna have to go hard in the paint.
You're the man for the job.
I hope so.
The best podcaster on the planet, Sivan
Oh,
Matosian.
thank you. Oh, but
Have you ever listened to? You're wearing shorts.
I know. Don't. They're on the.
I was
hot
thinking that
here.
the other
It's
day.
hot
I'm like,
here.
I wonder if people ever wonder like what you're wearing underneath. Not
I
you,
almost
but
always wear
anybody on
pants, so
these
I
talking
feel more
shows.
professional. Sorry, say it again.
Like people, I always wonder. Like I'm wearing shorts right now, but
Yeah.
I wonder if people wonder what we're wearing that aren't our t-shirts.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Almost
I'm wearing
always
a
wear
fucking
pants.
T-shirt.
Do you normally wear pants?
No, I'm usually
Oh.
wearing shorts. I'm always wearing compression shorts, which I hear is bad for you.
For your legs or your cockins?
Cockins.
Oh, I don't know.
You,
They don't
This
really
might-
compress. They don't really compress around there. They got a little.
you know what? You know what? This might be a lot. So after a long time, there's like the elasticity to your nutsack, right? And I think if
Yeah.
you wear compression shorts too much, you lose their ability to recoil. So I got a lot of ball skin.
Why would that affect the ability to recoil?
Because all of your compression shorts are doing it for them.
They're like
Like
holding them up.
it keeps them up, right? So your body loses the ability to keep them up there. And again, I don't know who the hell wants to hear this, but there was a day where Alexis is like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, I've been wearing compression shorts for like a decade straight.
You think your balls hang lower because you wear compression shorts?
Yes.
No, I think it's got to be the opposite.
Do you wear compression shorts every day?
No.
Try it out. See what happens. Actually,
Hey.
don't, because you don't want this life. This isn't what you want.
Hey, listen. Hiller has saggy balls. Make the real. Here's the thing. The difference between the way balls dangle on a hot day versus a cold day is like if I go swimming in the ocean, it's like I don't even have balls.
Okay. Now, still the same applies. Yeah. But now imagine when it's hot, there's even more to it.
Yeah, when it's hot, they're like fucking dangling between my knees.
Well, that's because you're 58 years old. Now, here's the thing. When you're 50, I know you're 50. Now, if I were 50, that's 20 years from now. Who knows? I'm going to have to like change it up.
They're going to be down by your calves.
I guarantee you there's a product up there that's out there to like, tighten up your.
Wouldn't holding them up make them so they dangle less because you're not stretching this? It's not the pressure of the skin.
No, man.
always just-
Do you not understand that your entire body is a feedback loop? So if you're
Okay.
telling your body that there's no need for them to sit up, you're going to support them your entire life, they will lose the ability to support themselves.
Okay. Let me
That's
see
the
if I-
feedback loop.
Okay. So when I used to grow marijuana, they would say you should keep a fan on the plant that blows the plants around, because what that does is that causes the stalks to move back and forth and then makes the stalks stronger.
That makes sense. Yeah, the feedback loop. And
Okay, so it's
otherwise,
that.
they'll fall over.
Yeah.
They'll fall over because they don't understand.
So you're saying, so is it like that with titties too? That if you wear a bra, the titties will sag more because over time they're
Well-
not getting the feedback loop of getting bounced around?
So, and here's the thing about that is you've seen
Yeah,
like
tell
National
me-
Geographic.
Tell
And
me
in
the
National
thing about,
Geographic,
tell me
you're
the
like, what
thing
the
about
fuck?
the titties.
I don't know. I think gravity just affects titties more so than they affect nuts because they're heavier.
Oh, crying out loud. You can't have it both ways, Hiller.
Dude,
You wanna-
does my
the
reasoning
nuts
not
are
make
on a
sense to you?
feedback loop, but the titties are on gravity.
They're heavier. Like they're heavier, right? No.
All right. All right.
Does that not make sense? I don't know.
It does.
I
It does. I
can't
just
speak
feel
from
like I feel
experience.
like you're selling me snake oil.
Who's the female that we can call on the show and ask about this? They need to speak.
The Batman can do the ultimate Batwing.
That's fucking right. Do you know who that's from? That's from Waiting. And maybe that's called the goat. You turn around and you like pull your nut skin across, and so like if you were to walk into the garage and I were to be sitting right here, I'd be like sitting in a certain position and it would expose you to the goat.
Wow.
I'll send you a clip of it.
Okay.
It's called Waiting, yeah.
Bring Alexis in. Man, that's amazing. I don't think my wife's ever commented on my scrotum.
Why not?
That'll be my question. I'll be like, so I'll go into the kitchen right now when this is over. I'll be like, Haley, have you ever commented on my scrotum? And if she says no, I say,
You'll never guess what we were just talking about.
no, I'll say, why not? Andrew Hiller wants to know why not. So I have a question. That's great interviewing, right? A question and then a follow-up question.
So you're interviewing your wife about your nutsack.
Yeah.
And what are you looking to get out of this? Like why
I
she
don't
doesn't care about your balls anymore?
No, just
we've been together for how many years? You've never even thought once about my nutsack.
No, Hiller.
You don't
Sometimes I
care
just
about
want to
me.
have intimate conversations with my wife. That's it.
But you have them with me instead for everyone to hear about.
Well, how do you think speaking of intimate conversations, I asked Lauren Khalil if she would come on.
Speaking of
Podcast.
intimate conversations,
Yeah.
I don't understand the parallel there, but
Because all my interviews.
how
are
did that
intimate.
go?
She said yes.
Okay, when?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna look on the calendar now.
If you give her a link right now, we've got a question that males can't answer.
I
It probably
think
wouldn't
I
be a
would.
good
I need to
intro
build
episode.
up with her before I ask her something like that. I can't just go hard.
Don't do that.
So she on June 21st. I am nervous about that.
More so than Dave.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Excited about which? Both?
I'm excited about both. Nervous is like maybe not I was maybe nervous with. Yeah. I'm trying to think
Someone says,
I'm trying to think.
Sevon, throw a fan under your desk and straighten the stem. What's the goal of having Khaleesi on?
Say that again.
What's the goal of having the Khaleesi on? You got to have like a.
Oh, I can't really tell you that. That's a great question, though.
Okay. So
That's
you got to.
Normally I don't have goals for having guests on. I just want to have them on, and I want to have a good conversation, and I want it to be intimate, and I'd like to explore some subjects.
No, that's not true. You have a goal.
What?
You wanna like peel away the layers of the guest. You always say that, and then
Yeah. That's
you want to like pull something out of them.
the
right?
goals. It's kind of like you're right. So usually with the goal, it's like it's something abstract, and I just want to go deeper. Yes. I just want to go somewhere deep with them and have some intimate conversation. But with the Khaleesi, I not only want to do that, but I kind of care that she has a good time. And I'm really curious if we're going to hit it off. So and here's the
It's almost
reason
like a
why.
trial. It's a trial.
Yes, because
Here's
so
the
like I
reason
have
why.
I have all these people on the show. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I've gone too far. Now I'm going to tell the reason why. I'm going to answer your question. So we do these shows like for the semifinals, and we have all these people on, and we had James Townsend on, and it was awesome, and JR and you and Brian and Rich and Angelo, and just all these people that come on who are kind of regulars to different levels of extent. But I was thinking it would be cool to have her on for that. And so
Okay.
like that's kind of why I wanted to interview her, because I want to see like what happens if the two of us are on at the same time and kind of feel that out. You know what I mean?
That would be interesting because usually she's the spearhead for conversation.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I kind of like that time that I was sitting in Greg's driveway just drinking a fucking Tito's and Monster, and Sousa fucking did it. I kind of like that.
Yeah,
So
because you were drunk.
Yeah, so if I could do a show where she's fucking manning it and I just get to fucking talk shit.
That would be interesting.
Oh
That's why
my
I like
God.
it, because
Okay, I've said
technically
too much,
you're the
but
one
that's what I
manning
was
this.
Yeah, say it again.
I enjoy this because I think you kind of direct. You're directing the conversation. You're steering the ship, and I just chat about whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do.
You want my freedom.
That's what I want to do. I'm
It's
getting
so-
better. I've only had COVID for a month. I'm getting better.
I've only had it for a month. You should have gotten the injection, man.
What does and then I'm getting off. I have to prepare for Dave. What accessory work do you do that would surprise people?
Stairmaster.
Oh, where is it?
I have a membership at like a Globo gym, and
Oh.
also the guy who you're talking about in the blue shirt earlier. I actually got him one that I'll like occasionally use, and it's just like sitting on it for 30 minutes to an hour, just climbing the stairs. It's terrible.
And what do you do? Well, do you listen to audio? But what do you do while you're doing it?
I put a headphone in, and I just catch up on whatever I need, content I might not have caught up on.
Can you watch TV while you do that?
I don't like watching TV while I exercise.
Yeah.
I think it takes away from the exercise.
It does. It absolutely does. And how often in a 30-minute session? How often will you trip?
Never.
Like stumble? Never. You don't stumble.
No, it's what I'll try to. I'm very focused on like what my feet are doing as I climb up the Stairmaster. I don't know. Usually when I'm doing things, I try to think about the way in which I'm doing them, like what's being activated, where I'm putting pressure in my feet, like what part of my calf is working as I'm. So it's very hard for me to trip when I'm so attention focused on my legs as I'm doing.
Do you do curls?
I do. I love doing curls.
You
This-
do like
like,
you
This
do you like
arm
them?
is significantly smaller than this arm because.
Hey, and when you do curls, do you have them like this and you turn like this?
I'll do them both. There's
Or hammer
really
curls?
like-
Or do you think
I really
hammer
like the-
curls are lazy?
I think hammer curls don't work the bicep muscle people think it's working.
Okay.
I think it hits a little bit more forearm than people are familiar with, or think that it's working. So when you do that curl up,
Yeah.
it's the supination of your arm will give you more of a bicep peak. And
do
I
you
guess
do
you're
sit-up-
training. Sorry,
Do you do sit-ups with a dumbbell on your chest?
like Froning in 2010.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah, 100-pound dumbbell.
Yeah,
He stationed his feet underneath that rack. You took that video.
it's fucking nuts when I saw that.
I think that it's very important that people do weighted core exercises for sure. I think it's totally missing. And I think that the reason the GHD messes people up as much as it does, because they only, for the most part, do calisthenic type core exercises. And when you see Rich, I don't have any reason to think he still does those, but adding weight to your core, it's something that bodybuilders don't do because they don't want to add the mass to their midsection. They're all about the aesthetic. They want big shoulders, big hips, and a small waist. It's like the X frame. When it comes to CrossFitters, you want a little bit more in there. Like the bigger your midsection, almost the better.
I bet you
And then
Rich
see
still does
people-
those. I bet you Rich still does those.
Send him a link. We'll ask.
Sit-ups with the I should have done that earlier.
So yeah, Stairmaster is probably the thing that I do most often that is unconventional for what we do.
How about laying on a bench and how about laying on that bench that's back there and taking a dumbbell and putting it over your head?
It's a
and bringing it
pullover.
back to your chest.
You can probably see a video of me on Instagram doing that.
Do you still do
That-
those?
I do. Not currently. Actually, the thing that I was doing recently because I couldn't extend my elbow, I couldn't bench press, which is my favorite exercise. I love the bench press. I always have. I would be doing like pec flies because when you do a pec fly, elbow stays slightly bent, which is where my elbow was, and
Yeah.
it would just light up my chest. And I realized I hadn't done them in a long time, and I'm like, there's a lot missing that I could have been possibly utilizing to get better upper body endurance wise that I haven't been doing through a pec fly. Bodybuilding is very important. People forget that.
Are you going to get a Vaza swimmer?
I already have one. I ordered
Oh.
it when we were talking about it earlier. I got to stay ahead of Fakowski because I know he probably ordered one too. He's always watching the show.
Guys, thanks for joining
Weighted
us.
pull-ups. Weighted pull-ups.
Oh, weighted pull-ups are great. I do
So
those
go
too.
Stairmaster, and then that's like tier 1 bench press weighted pull-ups, 2 and 3, and then little bitch legs.
I'm gonna suggest you should do negative bar muscle ups.
I've done a 40-pound strict bar muscle up before.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite things I've ever done. Weight
Wow.
like a weighted ring muscle up. It's probably why my elbow's so fucked up because I love benching and pull up so much that it just took a beating for a decade. But weighted Vaza. Is that what this is all about? Did you get a sponsorship?
Hiller out.
Hiller out.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.
2 hours.
Shut it
What
down.
What a great morning. Love you guys. Everyone be good. I'll see you guys in an hour with TDC. Thanks, Hiller, for letting us play with you.